A couple days ago, I unstaked 150 Luna, and you're going to find out why. Welcome to Crypto Saver. So, on November 20th, there's a new project that is officially launching known as Stader, and they plan on improving on the current staking mechanisms that we know of, especially within the Terra network. So, they have investors such as Coinbase Ventures, True Ventures, Jump Capital, partnerships with Terraform Labs, with Solana, and it goes on. So it's a pretty serious project. And they're really tackling two big issues when it comes to staking. For starters, it's a 21-day hold period that exists. Now, as you might know, if you stake your Luna and then you want to actually sell your Luna, you first have to unstake it, or maybe you just want to swap the Luna out for something else. Well, to do so, you have to wait 21 days. Well, Stader is actually trying to work on that problem by implementing liquid staking, and we'll get to that a bit later into this video. The second thing that they're really helping us with would be compounding our staking rewards. So if you've been staking Luna, you know that essentially every few minutes you receive a little bit of Luna, and you also receive a few other stable coins from Terra. Well, when you have your Luna staked with Stader, they will actually take your Luna and your stables, convert the stables into Luna, and take that Luna that you also earned as a reward and automatically put it back into your staked pile, helping you earn a higher overall reward. So that's really cool. And there's actually one third really cool thing they're also bringing to the table here. If you've been staking with Luna, you know that you receive various different airdrops, right? So it could be an ANC airdrop or one from Mir. There's also new protocols being launched constantly, and you might receive airdrops from that, such as Pylon. But one of the biggest issues is that unless you have a significant chunk of Luna staked to begin with, the airdrops are so small that the network fees actually just eat away at anything within that airdrop itself. Well, Stader is also going after that. They're really trying to bring down the costs by also giving you a one-click option to claim all your airdrops, which they claim will also drastically reduce all the fees. So that's also really cool. Now, as I dug through their lit paper, they spoke briefly up on where the staking market is today. And as we look at this graphic here, they mentioned that in the last year, staking as a whole has grown 15 times, which is massive. And they expect that staking will actually continue to grow at an exponential rate moving forward. And obviously, a lot of this is also speaking to their own tokenomics of their own coin, which is why they're bringing this up. But this really goes to show you how quickly the staking industry actually is growing. And on this next graphic, we actually can see the things that they're tackling and things we just spoke about, right? So one of the things they're also proud of and also makes a lot of sense, they're making it easier for you to be able to, when you stake. So now when you stake your Luna, you have to go and you have to pick out where you want your Luna to be, with what validator you want your Luna to be staked. Now, there's always been a big issue, especially with Luna, where the top 5 or top 6 would overwhelmingly have most of the stake to Luna within the network. And that's a problem because people do not want, that actually creates like a centralized system if 5 or 6 validators have that much control over the whole network. What they're going to do, they're going to give you an option where basically you stake your Luna into the pool and they themselves actually disperse your Luna across multiple different validators, which should actually help and have us have a healthier ecosystem on the staking side of things. Now, in their second point, you can see how they mentioned that with auto compounding of their rewards, you can expect 15 to 25% higher APY just because your Luna is being auto compounded right now. Now, in this example, they are saying that the Terra staking APY is 10% in their example. Now, that might sound a bit large because, as we know right now, the staking reward for Luna is around 3%. It seems pretty low. You might have seen how day one, basically the founder of Terraform Labs, he's mentioned that, I'll just read this out for you guys as you read it. Next week, we will unload Terra Money Signal Prop 44, initiate a proposal to burn 90 million Luna in the community pool to mint UST. And down below, we have a byproduct of this operation is that a lot of the swap fees will accrue, which will result in Luna staking returns minus airdrops to 5x. That's massive. Now, They voted on this proposal already. It's passed. We expect that in the next few weeks, this burn to actually occur. And as day one says, the return should go up fivefold. So right now they're about 3%. They should go up to 15%. No one's really been able to really dial in as to what the expected number would be. Some people say 10% is on the safe side, but either way, since we are seeing that Stader is using 10% in their example, I think that's a fair thing for them to put out and to compare. And then the third point, as I mentioned here, which is the one-click airdrops, enabling for much lower transaction costs, which again is great, and that's going to help again with auto compounding. Now, those airdrops will not be auto compounded. You will have to go in and you will have to claim those airdrops directly through them if to redeem them, and then you probably can just restake that to them. Now, all that is coming out on November 20th, but about a week afterwards, I think maybe even the last day of the month, they plan on coming out with version 2 already, and this is where liquid tokens will exist. And with liquid tokens, the best way to look at it is if you invest with Anchor, you know that you give in UST and you receive AUST in return. Consider your AUST to basically be a liquid token of the UST that you have deposited, because you can take that AUST and farm of it, right? So if you have been farming on Mirror, you might know that you can take your AUST and use it as collateral on Mirror to amplify your returns. Well, that's exactly what's going to happen here. When you stake your Luna with Stader, you will receive a token. As far as I know, it should be called ST Luna, and then you can use that ST Luna token to further farm, and that opens up more possibilities for you. And using this token, you could also actually get around the whole idea that when you do have to unstake from Stader, you will not have to wait 21 days to do so. I actually have a section here specifically talking about liquid staking, and you can see how by the end of November, liquid staking is coming to Stader, and this will help you avoid a 21-day unbundling process. And as I've also mentioned, you'll be able to farm on using your liquid token. But why unstake your Luna right now? Okay. So typically, when you have to when you re-delegate your Luna to a different validator, there's actually no period in between that you have to wait. If you unstake, you have to wait 21 days. But if you re-delegate it via the TerraStation software, you do not have to wait. But because you're actually going to be staking directly through Stader's protocol, you have to undelegate if you want to delegate to them. That's a very big point, which means that if you're watching this video and you want to get involved with Stader, then you have to undelegate to be able to then delegate to them once they open up on November 20th. I'm making this video on November 9th, so you would not be able to join in on the very first day, but still within the first 2 weeks or so. So starting November 20th, if you stake with Stader, you're going to have two options. You can either select the option to auto compound your Luna rewards right back into your Luna stake, or you can actually receive SD tokens from Stader. Now, SD tokens will be the native currency, native token for Stader, and they're giving you a chance, at the very beginning at the very least, that for every 43 cents, that you'll be able to buy SD for 43 cents. Now, with time, with every additional 2.2 million Luna deposited within their platform, that price will actually go up by 30%. But during this course of these 2 months, you will be able to farm their token. So if you really like what Stader is doing, you think they have a huge future here, and you really want to get your hands on their tokens, this is actually a great way of doing so. And this period will only last for 2 months. Why? Which is why I personally unstaked a few days ago, because if there's only 2 months, you really want to get involved as early as possible, especially knowing that the more money is the more Luna that's being deposited with them, it means it will be that much bit more harder for you to get your hands on the SD token, since the SD token will be worth more and more throughout the weeks. Now, I would imagine a lot of people are not fully aware yet of this project, so I'm sure when it's fully launched, the first week or the second week, people are going to catch wind of this, and then 21 days after that, there will likely be a huge influx of Luna being staked with them, and that's likely where the price for SD might actually be at $3 or $4 a token at that point if you were farming it via this community event. And here they actually show you how the Stader token will actually accrue value. Notice how it's done by fees, distribution of commissions from validators, commission on reward strategies, commission on liquid staking tokens. Now, obviously, a lot of this is going to depend also upon on how easily they will allow you to farm the SD token after that 2-month period. Are they going to be giving it out as an award in some farming tools or not? Because getting a percentage of fees is obviously nothing new. Like if you have Mirror or ANC, obviously it's kind of part of the whole program where the token holders receive a portion of those fees and so on. But the issue of ANC and of Mirror is obviously the tokens also being given out as rewards for Anchor. It's usually used as an award for incentivizing the borrowing side, and on Mirror it's being used to incentivize people to buy liquidity on the long side, and also to provide short pressure with the short farms. So we still have to kind of see what the future of this token could be, but that's currently how that token plans to accrue value. Now here's a major part. Now this is really important and you should really be listening to here. There are fees for early withdrawal from Stader. So if we go from the top here, for the first 2 months, there's actually no fees when it comes to the community farming aspect of it. But afterwards, we're looking at a 3% fee on rewards and auto compounding. But even that, there should still be a net 15 to 20% return if you're using the auto compounding feature. Also fees, so 3% fee also on the airdrops and also on the minimized slashing. So again, all that comes down to if the airdrops, how much lower do they bring the transaction fees to be than what they are right now? And if so, then that fee really might not matter that much. So on the second part here, there's a 1% withdrawal penalty if you withdraw your staked Luna within the first 2 months. So 1% of all your Luna gone if you withdraw it within 2 months. After 2 months, there's no withdrawal fee. And the last bullet point here, users withdrawing Luna between 2 to 8 months will not receive their unvested SD tokens, okay? So what does that mean? What does your unvested SD tokens mean? Well, apparently, once you start farming come this November, you have to have your Luna staked with Stader for the next 8 months if you wish to be able to actually redeem your SD tokens that you farmed in the very first 2 months. If you stake them, let's say December 1st, you staked your Luna December 1st, you were able to farm a bunch of SD tokens over the course of the next, let's say, 6 weeks or so. And then 3 months later, you're like, you know what? I need to do something with my Luna. I'm going to withdraw it. I'm going to unstake it from Stader. And if you do so, you lose all those SD tokens. That's a major point. And something that people really should be aware of, because I could definitely imagine some people staking with Stader, accruing those SD tokens, and then maybe after a few months, they just decide to unstake, and all of a sudden, all those SD tokens are just gone. So if you are going to stake with Stader, make sure that you plan on keeping your Luna with them for the next 8 months. Otherwise, you will not benefit from this community farming event that's going to be occurring from November 20th and 2 months after that. But for the Luna itself, there's only a penalty if you withdraw it within the first 2 months, which is a 1% fee. Still a relatively big fee, but it's there. Now, before you get too excited and you decide to go and unstake some Luna right now and then stake it with Stader, keep one thing in mind. There's currently an airdrop snapshot that's being done by a protocol called Shade. They're working on a privacy stablecoin, and they're doing snapshots from now, I think, until the beginning of December, and you will receive an airdrop of Stader of Shade tokens if you have been staking Luna. And as you can see, 32% of the amount that they plan on giving as an airdrop will go to Luna stakers. And the first snapshot has begun on November 7th. So if you unstake your Luna now, then you will likely receive a much lower amount of Shade tokens. I personally, so overall, I have about 458 Luna, and I decided to unstake I decided to unstake 150 of that, simply to use that for Stader and to be able to farm their token in the meantime, and also give their platform a try. And I've left 308 within Terra simply because I also want to be able to receive the airdrop from Shade, especially because it's a Genesis airdrop, and those typically tend to be the largest airdrops that you can receive as a Luna holder. Now, if you are still staked with your Luna and you're worried about missing 2 weeks or so of farming the SD token, keep in mind you could always actually go and just buy some Luna before the fact, and then just take the Luna that you bought. But if you do not have the funds to buy any more additional Luna and you really want to get involved with what's going on with Stader, then it's probably imperative to unstake as quickly as you can. I do plan to obviously make a video once I stake with Stader and kind of see what's going on with their platform and how much of a benefit it is. Now, if you do not want to take part of the community farming, there will still be that option for you to simply auto-compound your typical Luna rewards, Luna staking rewards back into your stake. So you don't have to necessarily farm those SD tokens if you don't really care for that, or maybe you don't believe in its future and so on. That's up to you. Now, if you have any questions about the matter, just let me know in the comments below. If you found this video kind of helpful to break it down, because there's a lot of moving parts right now. I know the devs are still kind of releasing more FAQs and documentations to better explain the process to people. So I'm trying to do my best here. But again, questions, leave them in the comments below. I know they're doing a FAQ actually later this evening, which I'm definitely going to read. Maybe I'll add some more information to I'll pin it in the comment below if I learned something new. And if you enjoyed this content, if you found it helpful, just give me a thumbs up. And if you just like any projects within the Terra ecosystem, because most of my videos tend to focus on things within Terra, then subscribe, because I'll definitely have more content for you guys. Other than that, thanks for listening, and have a great day.